Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, wisdom, and much more to share with us. They usually have huge hearts. They're sharing their love, their high vibration with everyone else. And they've been someplace that they like to take us during the show. Today, no exception, Taylor Wells is coming to us from Rhode Island. She wears many hats. She's enthusiasm, excitement, and inspiration embodied. She's a spiritual teacher, yoga teacher, author. She has an inspiration deck, and much more. She loves interacting with the universe, and she loves helping other people to step out of what they know, out of their mind, into their heart, to become more. Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
I'm very excited to have you on. Where could we start for when you first started interacting with the universe, nature, fairies, angels? Was it as a kid?
Yes, I was five.
Okay, take us to
Yeah,
one of
age
those.
five.
Yeah, take us to one of those
Oh, I
experiences.
just, sure. So it's interesting because as I've been teaching and coaching about conscious creation for over 25 years now, it's just a remembering of what I knew very clearly at age five. And it helped me sort of dance through my life in sort of impossible ways. Like I just, I would pull things off that just shouldn't be pulled off. Um, and and then when, let's see, I was in graduate, I was actually in my internship. I was doing my doctoral internship at Harvard University, and I found yoga, and that lifted the veil of illusion. And like I began to remember everything, and it just click, click, click. And so my handsome husband, who was then my handsome boyfriend, and I did the unthinkable and left the rat race to open a yoga studio. And then, in time there were five, and there was a raw vegan restaurant, and I wrote a book and a deck, but it was all about everything I already knew when I was five. It was just kind of clicking, not kind of, it would just click together. And I didn't know what channeling was. I was not well versed in any of the metaphysical nomenclature. I was, Ivy League educated, blah, blah. And and by the way, that was all very challenging for me to learn. I had to, read everything, every word, and highlight everything. Now I just get downloads from the quantum, and I know things that I couldn't possibly know, while I'm coaching. So what happened was I was teaching yoga at our first yoga studio, and people would come up and they would start saying, "Oh my goodness, can you say this again?" Or "What about when you said that?" And I was like completely blank. Like I kind of knew generally what I had spoken about, and that's when I started to understand something very different was happening when I taught yoga. So it all just kind of has gone on from there, and it's just living in the moment and being, downloaded what's for the highest good of all in this moment.
And for the audience, you went to Columbia University undergrad, got a master's, I
No,
believe. I
Brown.
mean, you went to Brown
Brown.
University. Sorry about that. Brown University undergrad, went to Columbia for the master's, and did a little stint on the psychology front at Harvard, an internship, I think.
My internship. Yeah, I was actually doing my doctorate at William James. It's now called, at the time it was called MSPP. So I was getting my PsyD, which at the time no one knew what that was. And I was relieved to be doing my internship at Harvard because no one knew what MSPP was. And then people always mix it up and think I went to Harvard for my doctorate. No, I went to MSPP. And then I left, Michael, when we opened Prana. I took a leave, and I had just my dissertation left, which was not surprisingly called The Power of Yoga to Transform. And we kind of were, not kind of, we were rolling the dice with the studio. We didn't know how it was going to go. And it went really, really well. And then, I believe that there's red light, green light, or yellow light synchronicity. And the multiverse made it very clear, because I had a little baby, my second, and my school, then MSPP, said you have to go back to Harvard full time, right, to in order to finish, because I just had that left and 1 year of internship, and I said I'm out. So that I'm actually super proud of that, because I loved that. It was so clear to me, and I don't believe in regret, remorse, or mistake. So it was the perfect path. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Tell us about your yoga studio.
Yeah. So my handsome husband Philippe and I met while filming a yoga video, actually for our friends, and I was very sad because I had just uh, left my beloved first husband, who I met freshman year, first day of orientation at Brown, and said, "That's the man I'm going to marry." It's a true story, and all of my stories are true. And so, anyway, it was my birthday, 1999, and I was crying at home in my sweatpants. Uh, my then 2-year-old daughter, she's turning, no, she just turned 2, was with her dad for the weekend, right? The first time, because we just split up. She was on the Cape with him. And I was feeling sorry for myself, crying. And I went, oh my gosh, I promised my friend I would go and film this yoga video. So anyway, I get over there and my face is red and I'm crying. And so the producer's horrified because I'm sitting, like, of course, right in the middle. And she's like, you need to move. And I was so mad, Michael. I ripped up my mat and I threw it down where she said, and I looked to my right at this guy who I'd never seen in my life. And I blurted out, I had a dream about you last night, because I had, but I would have those things happen to me, but I wouldn't usually say it to the person. And guess what he said back to me, this guy?
Same thing.
That very close. He said, so I am quite literally the man of your dreams, which
Oh,
is very accurate. And so his personality. And then I was mortified. We practiced yoga for like 8 hours filming. And I ran for the hills because I just kept saying, happy single mom, happy, because I was done, right? I was done with love. So 3 months later, I kept running from him. He would, try to practice next to me, whatever. 3 months later, I showed up to practice and I was really tired because my daughter had been sick. I had throw up in my hair and, from a little girl throwing up on me. And he was there and I just gave up. And I said, and he was smiling at me and I said, I'm living at home with my former husband who refuses to leave my house because he was not happy. We're friends now. And I have, a 2-year-old daughter and she's sick and I throw up in my hair. That's literally what I said. And he said, my name's Philippe. And that was it. We've been together ever since. We opened our first yoga studio 2 years later. We left the rat race. He was working at Bain Capital in Boston. He went to Yale for undergrad, and he got his PhD at Harvard in economics, very well educated. And everyone said we were nuts. I was leaving my doctoral program on leave. He was leaving this big job, working with Mitt Romney at the time. He actually spoke to the Wall Street Journal at the time and about that. It was interesting. Anyway, so we had no idea what was going to happen. We just wanted to live the happy, simple life. And then we ended up opening 5 in 2 states. So we had 3 in Massachusetts and 2 in New York City. We would drive to New York City every weekend and teach there with our first 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 kids. And we sold the studios in 2018, which was a really nice time, auspicious time to sell because, of course, 2020, everything shut down. So I had an intuition. We'd had them for 16 years. And I would cry at the sink in Rhode Island. We moved to Rhode Island, just sobbing. And I'd say, we have to sell the studios. I just knew. And my handsome husband always trusts my intuition. So we did. And then COVID hit and everything shut down and they went bankrupt. Yoga Works bought us. So, yeah. And now I'm a conscious creation. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to come back to the yoga stuff in just a second. Let's go big picture for mankind or for each of us on our unique life path. How do you like to describe the universe? Is it law of attraction? Is it paying more attention, slowing down, getting out of what you know? How do you like to describe the journey that we're all on?
Yeah, I call it conscious creation, and it's 5 steps. It's very simple, and I believe, first of all, I believe that all the beliefs are valid, and I choose mine, and everyone else's are valid. And I believe in a trinity, so I believe that there's what I prefer, there's neutrality in the middle, and then there's what I don't prefer on the other side. So I believe that it's very important to validate all and to then choose and focus on that which I prefer, and knowing that all is valid. So it's just 5 steps, which is following your highest excitement, because that is your higher mind speaking to you. These are my beliefs. Take what you prefer and leave the rest. And then taking action on your highest excitement. That's step 2. Got to act. We're in 3D, so it doesn't matter. I spend a lot of time with academics, right? And my husband actually is an academic now. He is a professor at Brandeis. And, spent Thanksgiving with his best friend from Yale. Lots of people who are very smart. You're not acting. I really don't care what you know, because it doesn't matter. Step 3 is to maintain a positive outlook no matter what is unfolding, because whatever is unfolding actually is for the highest good of all. And even if it's something flompily, which is a word I made up for not feeling good, it is still your highest excitement, because that's not serving you, right? Through your emotion. Step 4, only 2 more steps, is to release attachment, right? To how something shows up, because we have no idea what's for the highest good of all with our, lower minds. Like, we know what we know, and we're in the valley. So just knowing that whatever is unfolding, right, is for the highest good of all. I never thought I would be a person who got a divorce, right? That a person who, right? And that was really for the highest good of everyone. And then step 5 is to just always keep being curious about your beliefs, which are inhibiting you to follow those first 4 steps. Because, the multiverse is going to be reflecting back to you and to me our beliefs. So why wouldn't we choose a belief that serves us, right? It just doesn't make sense. But people do it all day long. And so I coach people. This is what I did at Prana Power Yoga as well. I was just like teaching yoga at the same time. I just teach people how to follow those steps consistently, mostly through my life, because I walk my talk. I try everything first. I come up with new, I get downloads from, my team of new ideas of tools and processes, and I do it first myself. It works, and then I teach it.
Beautiful. I'll light some sage here in Texas, and we've already done this before the show, but you'll get to catch
Yeah.
sage at your end, and you may already catch it before I start lighting it or as I'm lighting it. But people at home, if you need help, just ask angels to get you out of your head into your heart, and you're gonna breathe a little extra and just be. Your heart knows how to catch the scent of sage already, and let us know when you're starting to catch it.
I got it.
And I'll still use the feather, red-tailed hawk feather. If you don't mind catching a little bit of light around you, or the smell of flowers or perfume or incense from India this time, let us know if you get something extra. Just be like, hey, I'll take extra. Or if you're at home, go ahead and say, I'll have what she's having. Okay. What are you getting for extra?
I mean, I'm a sparkly person, so I usually get sparkles, but I'm hearing kind of a light. Uh, it's like a faint, mm, like a not a ringing, and then the sage, and then sparkles is what I often
I,
get.
I love it. Thank you, Taylor.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
can you talk to us about how you really don't have to know anything, that just being kind to yourself, kind to others is a great foundation to start, and paying attention more. But can you take it from there? How do you like to describe, we'll call it starting over, maybe it's a daily practice.
Oh, for me, it's moment to moment for sure, daily. So as I um, described briefly earlier, I worked really, really hard in college and graduate school, and I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist, or I used to be a perfectionist. I'm a recovered perfectionist, but I that kind of uh, paddling upstream and effort is not conscious creation. So what conscious creation is is effortless action. So wild horses can't keep you from doing it. You need, I don't believe in motivation, it's inspiration. You just you just do it because there's nothing else you'd rather do, right? So you don't need to have lists. I mean, I don't make lists anymore or anything. And now I understand that every single thing I need appears. And I used to say, when I need it, not before, not after. I don't even have to say that anymore. In fact, I don't know if you can read this, but it says, whatever the channel needs appears. And it just does. And when I tell everybody that when I'm working with a client, I connect with their higher mind, right? So you've got your lower mind who's here, in the valley, and you've got your higher mind who speaks to you through excitement. And when I speak with a client, all I do, first thing in the morning, I get up very early. I get up at 3 or 4. I always practice yoga and meditate. You don't have to do any of that. You can do your practice, get up whenever you prefer. You do need to be in alignment, though. I will never see a client. I won't actually talk to a human until I have done my practices and I'm in alignment. 25 years, every single day. Even when I gave birth, every day. So people say, oh, you're so disciplined. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's my highest excitement. It feels good, right? But then once I'm there or you're there, however you get there, everyone's different. You just get when you know this. And I also have a free academy online. I talk about all of this. You can check it out. When you know it, not hope it, no, not think it, no, not even believe it. When you just know it, it just appears. And my latest thing that I've proven that fact, one time I gave away all my clothes, literally every single thing except pajamas and one pair of sweatpants. And I said, show me what you got. And I just, a good friend of mine just sent me a huge box of clothes. She had no idea, right? When I travel now, I travel with just, my purse, my thyroid medicine, and my water, my contacts. That's it. And everything's provided. I don't ask for anything. So really, when you truly know that, which is just coming from a place of love, knowing that you're always taken care of, you will get information. And it's like, oh my gosh, how did I even know that, right? And I leave my clients an audio after, just kind of recapping. I just channel it. And from time to time, I'll listen back just to make sure it, recorded, whatever. And I'm like, damn, that's so good. Because it's coming from the quantum. So I'm not saying that reading books is bad. Of course not. I've read a lot of books. I wrote a book. But do that for fun, right? But whatever you need knowledge-wise, if you know that it's coming, it comes exactly when you need it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Talk to us
It's
about...
it's a really nice way to live. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us about angels. How do you like to describe angels? And can we start with a story, an interaction? It could have been dream time, a vision. It could have been when you were a child seeing full on. It could have been a stranger with really kind eyes during one of your travels who just said the right thing at the right time at the airport, on a street. Have you had an interaction with an angel you could share with us?
I interact with angels all the time, every single day. In fact, which one to share? So, um, angels can come in any way. Like you said, it can be someone at Trader Joe's, right? Who's just smiles at you and you look at them, you're like, wow, I get the chills. I get, which by the way, everybody, what that means is your little hairs are reaching up like little antennae to the cosmos, to the divine. I think that's really cool once I learned that. Well, Michael, I was telling you, I actually have photos of this, so I'll send them to you. My handsome husband and I were hanging out, and it was on like a Sunday morning, and we were kind of planning this cool sabbatical to Switzerland in a couple of years, and it was like super cozy in this room. And all of a sudden, it was kind of like this light outside. My husband goes, "Oh, look." And on the wall, I mean, I have like 5 photos of it. It was literally Joy, the pink angel, in the form of a dragonfly. of a dragonfly. Like, I will send you photos. And it was so uncanny because my handsome husband's really open, obviously, to all this stuff. He was the one who saw it. I'm kind of the more, I'm always talking to the angels. So that's like a physical thing on our wall. Um, I was, supported by angels growing up. When tough things were happening, I was always taken care of. I always park. It doesn't matter where I am. I get a parking spot.
Hmm.
I just know. And people will say to me, "Oh, you're never going to be able to blah blah," and I'm like, "I'm all set." And then I just park. I mean, it's all day, and that's the thing. Like last night, we were at Brown actually with my chickens. We saw a movie on Thayer Street, and afterwards, we were getting pizza at this place, and I was chatting with the guy. I always talk to everyone, and he was an angel. I 100% know this guy was an angel. And then afterwards, one of my chickens goes, "Mom, I know that you like to talk to everyone, and but he was basically saying like, don't do that." And I was like, that's never going to happen. Like, I'm always going to do this. And they're just joking, right? They're teenage boys and they're like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." But they see how, like, everything just opens up, right? And when I'm traveling, yeah, TSA, all that, they're like, "Oh, here you go. Oh, here's this. Oh, okay, last one." I was flying, where was I? I was at the Gaia conference. It was a channeling conference. And I was flying back I was flying to Denver, I think. Anyway, so I didn't know. I'd never flown on, what's it called? It's self-seating. Is it Frontier? I don't know. And so I had no idea. So I'm like hanging out, before I'm the last one to get on. This is a true story. Because I'm like, "Oh, I'll just wait." And then I'm going and I'm like, "Oh, there's no," and they're like, "Oh, it's self-seating." And I was like, "Oh." So I literally get on. There is one seat and it's at the exact front of the plane. Like I've never, it was like first class, but it wasn't first class, right? They don't have it. And how is that even possible? Everyone walked by that seat, right? And then the woman who was the flight attendant, I said, "Oh, this is amazing, da da da." And she was wearing, it was around Halloween. She was wearing, what's that called? Like a devil's outfit. And I said, "What's your name?" Her name was Angel. And she's wearing a devil. I mean, I can't.
The
One more.
stranger.
I just had another one.
Oh, yeah, please.
One more. I was at the uh is it called Patriots Place? I'm not a observer of I'm not a sports watcher, but it was at the um Tom Brady, that whole thing. Okay, we're watching that. Tom Brady wasn't there, but anyway, we're at this huge people in Massachusetts are horrified listening to this. But anyway, we're watching a football game, and I went to the WC and I left my phone in the bathroom. I came out. Everyone knows that feeling when you're like, "Oh my goodness." And so I went back in, nothing there, and I turn around and there's a man standing there, and he said, "Is this yours?" And I said, "Yes." He had a name tag. I have a photo of this too. His name tag said Angel. I swear this happens all the time.
Okay, let's do a quick check. If it's okay, I'll bring in two angels, Joy and Archangel Michael. So the gentleman at the pizza shop, if I've got this right, here's Joy. You don't have to share it out loud, but say got it when you hear her tell you who it was.
Got it.
Okay, and if you want to share it out loud, what would you like to share?
Well, the reason why I can't is because it's connected with something I'm about to manifest that has to do with Brown and something else. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not
But
going to go there, but you got
yeah,
it, so that's good. And then
yeah.
I'm blanking. Oh, the bathroom and so here's Archangel
Angel.
Michael. And if you could ask him who that was and just say, got it when you got it, but make sure you get a couple hugs and see a lot of light around you as well. So it's extra sparkly and fun.
Yeah, I got that too. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
is that
wow.
another one you can or cannot
No,
share?
I can say that one. That was from a long time ago. So that was wow, I'm going to get emotional. That was one of the angel. Well, that was one of the angels who were there when I was little when stuff was challenging. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Wow. That's
awesome.
cool.
Awesome. Okay, what do people need to know about angels so they can trust more and potentially experience more, how would you like to help them get an extra take on angels?
So listen, you, every single being has a ginormous team, supporting you, whether between hundreds and thousands of entities. Okay, it's not just angels, but you have free will, so you get to choose whether to accept that support, which is their highest excitement. So it's not like you're taking you're it all works together, it all fits. Okay, so nothing is ever wasted. So it's not like you're weak, right, when you ask for help. And also, I personally talk first thing I do when I wake up, I put my, it's very early, and I call it appreciation instead of gratitude, just because it's actually a bit higher, appreciate, but they're both great words. And then I immediately talk to Uriel, Raphael, Gabriel, and Michael. And I have a little thing I say to all of them, and happy to send it to Michael later. It's, about what I am asking for the highest good of all. And then, and you feel it, right? You just feel that support. And remember, it's not weakness. It's not, it's consistency. I guess that's what I'm saying, that prayer is not asking for something. It's being appreciative and grateful for what is, because everything is now. So when you want something, it can't come because you're in a state of wanting, and everything is now. It's just the same moment, right? Over and over that you keep experiencing. So, angels are, it's, it, they're part of this, I'm not saying this dimension, but it's kind of a different dimension, but they're part of this whole thing we're living in Earth School. And it's kind of like, okay, let's say you were in at school, and you preferred some help on an essay, and there was this amazing writing center, right? And you're like, well, I can't ask for help, blah blah. If you went there and it was free, it's all included, whatever, and they would help you and write this great paper, it'd be really a wise thing to do, right? Well, this is like that. You have this team. Of course, I said writing because I'm a writer, but for anything, and it gives them so much joy, right? So you're not taking. It's all. Remember that if you just give, that's not cool, because it's not balanced. Because I prefer to give personally, but it's important to receive. So it keeps that energy flowing. And once you do it once, you don't have to practice. You don't have to have any idea what you're doing. You can just say, I have no idea what I'm doing, but what was that name? Uriel or whatever. And they will guide you, and you'll just feel this incredible support. And even if you just say, like if it's things are hard and you're feeling, sad or, lost or alone, you can even just say, I know I just said you shouldn't ask for things, but you can just say, please help, right? And you will feel, it's incredible how you will just feel complete support and love. And you might feel like tingles or, warmth in your hands. And you can't do it wrong, right? This is all stuff that you all know this, you're just remembering. So, I always tell my clients, I say, you're doing this, not me. I'm just helping you remember. So anyway, they're just a great support and team. And it's okay if people roll their eyes at it or whatever. That's okay. That's valid too. Just don't, I wouldn't be, proselytizing to people who are not interested, because it's not really our jobs to, they're all set, right? The angels, they, choose people who choose you, and angels always choose you. They're not people, but anyway.
Nice. Very nice. I'm going to put up 2 or 3 angel photos. If you could just do some listening on our behalf and share what you can share, and make sure you get some hugs and humor and light or anything else. But here's Joy, that angel again, who's the emotion Joy, very expansive. What are you getting from Joy to share with all of us?
Yeah. So basically, your joy, in my word, excitement is the conduit to all creation. So it's not something that you earn or you deserve or you um, have to save up for. It's the only reason you're here is to be you, authentically you, as quirky as that is. I'm the quirkiest person ever. And I'm just laughing thinking about how one of my chickens is going to be horrified that I couldn't remember the name of the football team. And I don't care, right? Because that's who I am. That joy, that laughter, like laughter is the highest vibration. Think about it. When you're like really, really sad and then you just can't take it anymore and somehow you laugh, think about how, people who are grieving or whatever, immediately you go up like this. So joy is it's just your natural state unless you're choosing, she says, to suffer, which is fine too, because all roads lead back, all right, to home, which is joy. That's it. It's just, are you gonna, you can struggle, it's totally fine. And she doesn't care. She cares, but she doesn't judge you. She just loves you unconditionally, right? So it's just your state. It's your natural state, and it's really easy.
Okay, now we're like on a game show, so you have a couple choices, and there's no right or wrong or anything, but you can, I'm going to put the photo here in a second, and you can let her move, change colors in the photograph, or you can close your eyes and let her come in and make light or an image or take you somewhere, you'll get a vision, or you'll just get a big hug. Let her do something for you, whether it's eyes open, eyes closed, and let us know what you would like to share once you've gotten something. And folks at home, you can put your hands out and just feel energy, sparkle, warmth. Try too hard, it'll be on your toes. You can ask a question, listen, it'll be a high, peppy voice. And more, just ask for a beautiful smell. No limits is no limits. Taylor, what'd you get?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. So, so what she's saying is, it's so funny. So what she's saying is sometimes, so she's always there. Well, I also felt, if anyone felt like warm and tingles, I get that a lot from her and from a lot of the angels and just and other beings of light. So what she's saying is, some of you, I feel this personally, and she feels it. Some people are like, well, that sounds really good, and you seem like a nice enough person. And Michael's clearly a nice person, but and you seem credible, I guess. But people are gonna think I'm weird, or people don't really like that when I'm happy, when they're, there's misery loves company, right? That idea. And so just remember that she says that once you just choose to be at kind of at one with that, with her, with joy, which is you, your higher mind, that just takes care of itself. Because I always tell my clients, there's one particular client who asked me over and over again, why am I not supposed to make boundaries again? Um, and the reason I believe that is because that's up to the universe, the multiverse, the angels. You just be you, and then the people who will be lit up by you connecting with joy, you know, will find you. You don't have to push people away or say like, "Hey, block you" or any of that. The other thing is, it's okay to not connect with joy when you feel sad or you feel, angry or those things. Those are important emotions to feel because they're an alignment principle and they show you that you have a belief that doesn't serve you. That's not yours. So you're like a belief thief, right? And so she also wants you to know that it's not about like being fake. Like, today's the best day ever. It's okay to be quietly joyful, like just chill, like just like hunkering down. It's like raining here in Rhode Island, dark out, it's cool. I love that. And it's okay to also feel not joy. She's still always there for once you kind of feel that. I believe you feel it 15 seconds, neutral, and then you can go to joy. That's all you need. But a lot of people, you know what? There are a lot of people who prefer that process to take longer. I'm not going to take that away from her, and she won't either.
Taylor, another huge, amazing insight. Thank you. And feel what you feel. Do not judge. I have another photo for you. All the
Okay.
archangels. It was, I think, 2013, 2014. I'm sitting in my first Austin home on a couch. Luckily, I was wide open. I hear, grab the camera. It's a sure shot. Go outside. And Angel said, shoot over the house. It was nighttime. So here's all the archangels plus the little guy in the back of the V is Metatron. That little guy. If you could just feel, hear, see, smell, eyes open, eyes closed, it doesn't matter. What do all the archangels have as a message for us in 2026? And it might move, you might get vortices of light, anything you want to share, but definitely get a beautiful message from all of them to all of us. What are you getting?
Yeah, I got it immediately, which happens to go along with everything I believe. Big surprise. Ease and excitement.
Ooh,
That's it.
okay. Tell us more. Tell us more. This is
Yeah.
your expertise off the charts. Ease and excitement. Tell us more.
So here it is. Um, everyone, not everyone, many people are like, "Why am I here? What's my purpose?" Blah blah blah. So, um, I said it earlier. I'm going to say it again because it pertains to this. So, your only purpose is to be you, authentically you. That you're already just by being you here in Earth School, which by the way, we all hit the lottery because there are billions of spirits and souls who prefer to be here in this body during this time. This is an incredible time of expansion. It is a very incredible school. It is we come in as masters of limitation, so we forget how powerful we are, and and then it's really exciting to remember if you choose to, and it's okay if you don't because you're an eternal being, infinite being. There's no rush. So the ease and excitement is kind of this, the same idea, understanding that just being you, that's it. You're already having the most impact you will ever have. Okay. And see, we're not trained like that. Hello, 20 million Ivy Leagues. You think I believe that? Obviously not. I wouldn't have like drudged away studying all that. But, and I'm really glad I did because I saw what works and what doesn't work for me and for other people. I utilize, traditional psychological methods. And I noticed that I kept doing this instead, and people got better on their own. I don't heal anyone; you heal yourselves, by the way. And and I wasn't telling my supervisors that I was doing it this way. And then I told my beloved Charlie Ducey at Harvard. I said, I'd like to take my clients, they call them patients, my students, for a walk. When I talk to them, I don't want to sit in the office. I want them to move their energy. I've trained as an athlete in tennis. I know that. And he said, you can't do that. And I said, why? And he said, because no one's ever done it. And I said, so what? And so now when I work with my clients, they have to be moving and I have to be moving. So you have to either be walking or, on cardio, whatever, putzing around, cleaning. So the idea is ease, right? That brings ease because you're moving your energy and you're not like, in your head. And then you can easily accept the fact that just being your authentic self is, you're already having the most impact you'll ever have. And then from there, excitement. You just have fun while, you made it. You won the lottery, right? And so ease, because sometimes people come to me and they say, teach me, conscious creation. I teach them. And then they're like, yeah, but what else? What besides those steps? I'm like, those are the only steps. Just do those steps. And I'm like, but you're not even doing the steps. You just want to know what, right? And they create at first for like a little while. They're like, oh, this is great. But then they create it being hard. And I'm like, this is not the path. Like it's not supposed to be hard. It's not about lying around all day, right? Eating bonbons, as they say. You will be so active, but it's ease and excitement. So that's what they told me, and it's a beautiful picture. And just remember that you will never be more confident than you are now. You will never be more abundant. You will never be more trusting. Okay, you will never be a better manifester because everything is now. What you're doing is you're tweaking what you believe. You choose it, all right? I don't care what happened. You wouldn't believe what happened to me, all right? Here I am. You choose it. You choose what you trust, right? People go, I need help with trust. I say, no, you don't. I need help with confidence. And I say, I'm insecure. And I'm like, well, you're confident about insecure. So again, back to ease and excitement. You already have it all, right? You already have the trust, the the knowing, the belief, the abundance. You're just choosing. If you don't love what's happening, you're choosing something you don't prefer, and the multiverse is just reflecting it. So the multiverse has no emotion. It just reflects you back to you. And so the angels are saying, like, it already exists, all of it, right? And I never used to understand that years ago. When I would hear that, I'd be like, what the hell does that even mean? But when you get this, it's so ridiculously easy.
Hmm.
I'll be coaching you for feeling guilty that you didn't realize how easy it was, because that's always a step.
Totally genius,
That's it.
or
That's all I got from them.
yeah, totally genius or genial. Here's Minn, and if you could
Oh,
bring in a light
learn
being
from them,
named,
yeah.
yeah, before the show we did a light being named Grace, orange light enthusiasm or inspiration. Minn, oceany, angel, Mother Hawaii-ish. Between Grace the light being and Minn coming in, could you get a message, or if you want to go beyond words, you can have light symbols or light come in, and it'll be something beyond words that we're going to ask for you to put back into words later, maybe 30 seconds or so. And at home, if you're enjoying the show,
I
just
got it.
like, subscribe, share, comment. What have you enjoyed about Taylor's sharing with us so far? And an emoji counts if you're shy. So just put an emoji down, a thumbs up, a smiley face, a rainbow. But if you're excited, put 5 rainbows. You got this. Okay. Taylor, when you're ready, share what you would like to share.
Yeah, so what I got was I got it immediately. Um, Blue, well, I love teal, but it's kind of a lighter blue and kind of like a mist, like have you ever been at the beach or and it's like a mist, almost like a fog, but it's sunny. And that feels cool because it's water and it's a mist, but yet also it's warm because of um the energy. So everybody, just a quick tip about this. You know how to do this, okay? It's just maybe you feel embarrassed or you feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But when you lie down tonight, you can just, if you choose to, right, take what you prefer and leave the rest. You can just have lie down and have your hands open and just say, I'm open, to receive, good energy. And your hands, I mean, my hands feel really hot and tingly, and I fall asleep really quickly, so it just happens for a second. And then you'll have amazing, amazing dreams, right? Michael, I mean, it's amazing.
Perfect. I'm going to just take a couple more steps with you on the interactive, fun universe front. We'll do a little bit of light on my hands. And we did this before the show for full disclosure. But it's just seeing a little bit of aura, consciousness, love, call it what you will, the force from Star Wars. It's fun, it's sparkly. Are you ready, Taylor, just to see a little bit of light? I'll go bigger afterwards and maybe we'll get extra. But are you ready?
I'm ready, and I do want to tell everyone that prior to right before the show, had never seen an aura. And I don't, I see things in different ways, and I feel things, and I know things, and I saw it, and I was like blown away. It was very cool. So, full
Awesome.
disclosure, I'd never done that before, so maybe you will too.
Awesome. And you've already heard this joke, I think, because I think I told it before the show, but I've got a holiday one. And since this is coming out in January, then it's a little belated, but that's okay. What do you call a really old snowman? And the answer is water.
Yeah,
Okay. Catch a little bit of
still
light.
funny.
Yep. Breathe, breathe, breathe at home and just see a filament of light. What color are you seeing between my fingers?
Me or them? Oh, they can't. We can't hear them. I see white.
Okay. And I'm going to go bigger and
I
maybe you'll
see
get
white.
extra. Let angels do their jobs and other loving beings. What are you getting now?
So funny because I see like a vortex. It's like a swirling white with kind of white sparkles. I must love white. Yeah.
Yay, Taylor, you're invited back. Okay,
Yay.
I'm going to read a couple compassion quotes. I think
Okay.
if we got 100 people to volunteer for 5 years and every day they asked angels for a definition of compassion, I don't think any two definitions have to be the same. So I'd like to read 5 compassion definitions. and just see
Mhm.
how they register with you, and you'll take us where you will. So very spontaneous. Um, Jesus, like 10 years ago, said, compassion is open eyes and open heart. Archangel Raphael said, compassion is releasing fears and judgments. Abe, the Abraham of old, said, compassion is not judging, taking action with no thought. And here's two more. Dale, an angel who's really fun, like Greg Kinnear a little bit. I saw him in Nantucket as a sub shop owner once. He said, compassion is just being and trusting the outcome to be of the highest intent for all, which is what I think you've been saying the whole show. And then one more, Mack, don't call her Mackenzie. She's everything plants, animals, and nature. She's a lot of fun. She said, compassion is treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby. Which one? All of them? None of them? Where do you want to take us with those quotes?
I love all of them. What I'm being guided to share now is really all of them in mixed together, and then also with a little twist, which is um, before people understand what conscious creation is, they believe that when someone when a friend or a family member or some human is suffering, um, the person feels that they need to suffer also to help this other person, right? So they need to have empathy. We're going to call it empathy. And what I believe, and what I'm getting from all of those beautiful quotes and mixing them together with a new twist, is that compassion is is putting your hand out when someone's in the mud, and I'm going to get teary saying this, and standing there firmly and unconditionally loving, and knowing that if and when they choose to hold your hand, you will lift them, to and hug them and help them. However, it's not jumping in the mud with them because now everyone's in the mud, no one can get out, and I see this a lot. Um, Especially with certain cultures, like you have to feel guilt and you have to, in order to be a good mom or in order to be a good friend or blah, blah, blah. And in my belief and what the angels teach me and my other people on my team, like my ETs, is that's not helping anyone, right? To jump in that mud because now we've got two people in the mud. Now we need someone. And it becomes a bit of a, well, there is no such thing as stuck because energy has to move. So it becomes a loop, right? It's moving loop, loop, loop. So I love everything that you said and everything. It's incredibly private and personal how people see it, but they're guiding me to delineate between having compassion is knowing that someone is powerful and um, that they can take your hand and you can help. However, you feeling bad for them, okay, and with them for 15 seconds, okay, and that's it. Then neutral, and then go to what you prefer. And that's how I work with countless clients. I'm energized by what I do. I have a ton of energy after I see a client. People go, "Oh, you must be so tired." Are you kidding me? I have to like tone it down before I see my kids because I'm like, um, because I feel it, and then I go to neutral, and then I put my hand out, and I know from the second I worked as a psychologist when I wasn't kind of calling myself all this, I just knew when that person walked in the door, I knew that they were going to feel better. That's it, and there was no waffling. The most challenging thing for me was that I just had to shut my mouth and let them come to that, right? Because I knew it. And so compassion is just knowing their power and knowing that you jumping in the mud, even if people believe that's true, that's valid. I don't choose it, right? I choose to believe that that you have the power to feel better. And also it's important to feel crappy sometimes, right? To find the beliefs that are creating that, it's beta, belief, emotion, thought, action. And also perhaps it's grief because they've had a loss, right? you have to feel the feelings. But as a friend or as a mom or as a sister, if you jump in the mud, it's not going to go well. So that's
If you could put a hand out to the side, it can be on camera, off camera, it doesn't matter. We'll bring in Audrey Hepburn. And if you wanted to hold your hand or you just want to feel the vibration or feel light in the palm of your hand, it'll be any which way and loose. We'll quote that old Clint Eastwood movie. Have her come in, breathe through your mouth a little extra. I'm going to read one more passage from Angels, technically. And I'd love for you and Audrey to work together, or no work, no try, on something like you've been doing the whole time. A beautiful Calgon, take us away next. Here it is. Belief is power, letting go is power. Catching your thoughts before you accept them as fact is power. Embrace the opportunity to explore yourself, others, and the world around you as it really is. This is power. Unconditional love is shiny, infinite, and already within you. And with Audrey's, you don't need any help at all, but with Audrey's assistance, can you co-create? Let's do a little lingo. And what's your response to all those words?
yeah. I love it. So, also just a fun synchronicity for everyone listening. I have two daughters and three sons, and one of my second born daughter looks like Audrey Hepburn. So we have pictures of her all over, and that's incredible. And totally felt her. So um, through Audrey, so unconditional love is always the choice because right, that's what we were born with. I like to joke that little baby chickens are born. I call my kids chickens, so little human babies, and they're bald and they have a poop in their pants and they can't drive a car. They have no money. Let me tell you, they get what they prefer. I don't use the word want and choose and resonate with. And it's a joy to be around them, right? Because they're just unconditional love. Like they just and they know their needs, or like I'm hungry or I need to sleep or whatever, right? They don't have to like, am I good enough to ask for this? I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy. They're worthy. And then slowly they start to forget because that's why we came, right? It's not sad. It was a choice. We came to to forget so we could remember and be like, oh, this is awesome. Um, and and that's how we expand because when we're in the non-physical, the angels, they could just think something and it's immediately there. And then the paradox is we come here and we're like, why is it taking so long? It's like, because you asked for this. So the unconditional love is, it just feels so much better than anything else, right? When someone does something that's like unthinkable. Yeah, you can, be angry and have a chip on your shoulder and spite and all that. And it feels terrible. So conscious creation is so simple. It's like, how does this feel? And if it doesn't feel good, you're not aligning with Audrey or the angels, and they love you anyway. They're like, you can suffer, all roads lead back to us. We'll see you, when you're ready. Um, and, and it's so interesting because in time, right? Time is not even real. We all create, we should do another show about that. It's all created by us, but time heals and in time you forgive that person, hopefully. But why not just do it now? Like, why are you going to hold that? Right. So the unconditional love it's just the best feeling of fullness and power and knowing that that's valid. I don't choose it, right? If someone's yelling at you because they hate your purple socks and you're looking down, you're like, my feet I have bare feet. When you feel unseen or unheard and you want to do things for spite, like Seinfeld, on that one episode, that's cool and you're allowed to do it all. But the angels say, you're going to end up with the unconditional love anyway. So why not now?
Hmm.
That's what I got.
I love it. Okay, a few more steps. We'll start to wrap it up in a moment. Uh, but with your permission,
Okay.
I'm going to put my hand up in Texas. You're in Rhode Island. I'm from Rhode Island, sort of, since about the 80s. And so I love that area. But I'm going to put my hand up in Texas with your permission. Only love and above. Let angels do the chaperoning here for decades to come on this video. People can put their hands up as well. They'll run boundaries here, so it's only love and above. What do you feel in Rhode Island with the hands up right now? What do you feel?
immediately. So I feel just all energy coming through. It's like tingles. And then this is my jam though. Like my hands, it's so, and warmth, like sparkly. It's incredible. It's so, and by the way, Rhode Island is so magical, everyone.
Hmm.
It's very quirky and magical. But yeah, I feel energy, tingles, warmth, lightness. I feel lightness.
Okay. And folks can get the
Mm.
chowder at the Black Pearl in Newport, Rhode Island. That's really good chowder. Or the Snowball in Hell at the Clark Cook House next door. But I'm going to whoosh 3 times. No two whooshes have to be the same. We'll let Joy be our ambassador for this, even though there's thousands of angels helping out. And the whooshes will just look like I'm cheating at ping pong. Here comes the first whoosh, and it can be small, it can be whatever, it'll be what it is. But we're going to ask for you to use words afterwards. Are you ready, Taylor? Okay, here it comes.
I'm always ready.
Okay. How about them apples at a Goodwill Hunting? Ooh, that was a wow, but you didn't come on the audio, so we
It's
got to.
very
What'd you get?
wow. That was like so much. I got so much energy. Like wow. So when I put my hand up, I felt the energy and I felt warmth and tingles. This time it was more like a wave. And so I'm already feeling it, and then it was like hard to put into words. But this is incredible. I hope everyone tries this because don't be embarrassed. Like just it just really works.
And I'm going to do it again, but this time let angels make it bigger, more fun, sparkly, and we'll call it rotational, vibrational, infinity sign twirling. Someone got that the other day, and I thought it was the coolest. It turned from an 8 sideways to 8
Oh,
upright.
cool.
Fun. But I'm going to just start doing this, and I'm going to push with both hands and blow again. My microphone's down below. Half the time, the microphone takes away the sound, so it's all good. But if you don't mind catching a little aloha in the air, oceany, but more like Maui Wowie, here it comes. And whenever you want,
Wow.
what was that one like?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So that felt like kind of like a wave of energy, like it was here, but then it was also here, like but not put it didn't feel heavy, but it felt like pressure in a good way. And then I do this with my clients, like I'm integrating. It felt like the integrational infinity. Yeah. I'm
Beautiful.
integrating. You guys can do that at home. You can go, I am integrating, integrating.
Okay, and one more.
I'm
Uh,
integrating. And like if you feel like sloppily, do this. Yeah.
yep, and one more, and we're going to ask the universe to really step it in. A lot of galactic loving figures. If you want to get light language, little sparkles on your eyelids, open, closed eyes, it doesn't matter. Any which way and loose. Here it comes. And I'll read a quote to buy time. This is a gentle quote from angels. Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment. So too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassion to all. Do it. Taylor Wells, what did you get on the last energy whoosh?
So I got a very full feeling in my heart, like an expansiveness, all the other things first. So it's been building. So first it was, first it was Audrey, then it was, tingles. And by the way, everyone, it's different for everyone. So you don't have to feel this specifically. This is what I felt. Tingles, warmth. Then it was more of it was whooshing at me. Then it was this. And this time it was still all that. And then it was like a full, when you feel like your heart is so full and it's like bursting, but in a really good way, like excitement, I guess. Yeah, excitement and ease. Well, that's what they said, right? For 2026. Well, I don't really believe in time, but okay. So, um, the um, the angels are um, super. They're they're very appreciative and honored that you do this. By the way, that you do this for all, for those who are open in alignment with this information. So I got a lot of that as well, and a lot of yeah. So what they were talking about with like, or the quote of like, yeah, that was the angels of the smile and this and that. This is what they it came through for me to tell you guys. So I went off all social. I'm not saying anything is good or bad. This is just something that I did. I went off all social media last February. There was something that people were doing, so I did it in support. And then I thought, you know what? I've never really preferred this. I always did it because people said you needed it for whatever, blah blah blah, businesses, whatever. And I also went off Amazon. I took my book off, everything. And I'm not saying to do this. I'm not at all proselytizing. What I'm saying is, I knew that I've always really done the most, my favorite work just with just out in the world, like, boots on the ground. I bring heaven, like I'm a bridge from heaven to earth, as are you, Michael. And so it's not like me sitting in my house or sitting in an ashram. Like I'm out there, talking to people, and people who are not paying me, by the way, people who as I said to my son last night, I will always be this. I will always do this, right? This is just who I am. And he loved that I said that, right? Because he gets joy to see me speaking with an angel or someone. We were on the train in New York last June, and there was a blind man. He was like 6'5", and no one was helping him. And I beelined right for him. I helped him get on the train. My kids watched the whole thing, and in time, he was chatting with them and this and that. Afterwards, my kids said to me later, they said, that was really nice that you did, but you can't do that because it's not safe. And I was like, they're just trying to protect their mom, right? And I was like, how is that not safe? Like, what? But that's how, and they've lived with me, right? So I've been doing this forever. So, it is safe, to follow your heart, and to when someone can't see and no one is helping them on the subway, like, hello. And I'm always, always protected. Like and so are you. And you don't even have to ask. Actually, you don't have to ask for protection. It's just there. You can ask, but you don't have to. So, really the day-to-day stuff, like I work with the ley lines. I walk on the beach with bare feet. I put, light into the earth while I'm speaking with my clients. You think that if it's not on social media, it didn't happen. You think that I have to get this many likes, and that's fine. You believe me, you're famous, all right, in the multiverse, all right? You're getting likes all the time, and you're getting love and support, and my businesses and everything, it's expansive more since then, right? It's just massively, I have wait lists and stuff. So the abundance and the love, the unconditional love, and the likes, if you will, the angels are just naturally, it's easy. Okay. And if you feel guilty that it's easy, remember that's just your inner critic, because that's just her job or his job.
Hmm. I'm going to show one last photo of angels. It's two angels you've already talked to, Charlotte, and then the silhouette of the angel Minn, but it's in a different form. They're in balls of light with metallic light with faces. The higher up one on this side is Minn.
Oh,
The blue is Charlotte. If you don't mind hearing one final bit of advice for everybody, and you're our psychic conduit listener channeler, what are you hearing from Charlotte and Minn as a final reminder for all of us?
yeah. I mean, we'll just look at them. I mean, it's just pure. So we're back to joy. Joy's not there, but remember that's not only your birthright, it's just who you are. So if you're not in joy in any form, if it's chill, if it's, you don't have to be running around with your hair on fire to be joyful. Um, that's just not your natural state. So there's nothing wrong with you, right? If it, um, your natural state is just to feel good, not even because of anything. And when you choose that, paradoxically, the multiverse has to send you the good things that you've, preferred and focused upon. So it's not it. People put the cart before the horse, right? I'll feel good when, and by the way, they don't. People come to me who have, jets and big companies and blah blah blah, and they're not feeling so good, right? And you don't need any of that. It's not that there's anything wrong with that. You get to create anything you prefer, but anything that requires maintenance isn't real. Okay, so the angels, your spirit, your love, the light, the joy is eternal, right? It requires no maintenance. It's when you the car, the house, the clothes, the body, whatever. This isn't real. This is just you won the lottery to have this, but the reason why you sometimes feel empty and like I'm lost is because you're just forgetting that it's so simple. It's like just joy, like the picture showed, the smiles, and not because you got something or you are something, you already are, right? You're already contributing everything. And it's natural, by the way, for your critic to pipe up and whatever, because your critic just wants to remain relevant, and that's okay. It's just part of being in 3D.
Remember to remember, if you can remember when to remember, or if you remember. I forget how I said it, but it had a lot of remembers in it. And I thought it was the only original thing I've been saying because a lot of it's from angels. All of it's from almost all angels. But a book fell off a bookshelf once in Austin, and it was about Sri Shirdi's, no, it was a Tibetan book of dying, and there's a lot of those. But it's Songyel Rinpoche, that one that he did the 1.5 page
Mm-hmm.
forward. Somehow the book fell open to that. Somehow I see the end of his little 1.5 page thing. And he said, for 35 years, I've been teaching my students, remember to remember. And I've always loved that. And I'm like, oy vey. That was, I thought, the only line that was original that I was saying. It was zany. I have one last photo. I lied. I have my mom and dad are reconciled on the other side. They're not angels, but they're very fun. Hundreds of people have met them and seen them. But I'm going to put them up in their 20s. They show in their 20s. It's Barb and Mike Sr. One passed in the Navy off of Italy. It was his time to go in 1970 when I was 2. The other one, when she was like 44 in Newport, Rhode Island, it was her time to go. An artist. She's 5'4". He's 6'1". They're cuties. Get something wonderful from them and a final reminder for us
Wow.
all that merges with your own advice you would have given us. The three of you together, could you share something wonderful for all of us to keep in our hearts in 2026?
We're proud of you. That's it. We're proud of you just for being who you are. That's it. Not just, we have to say that because this is where we live, but we're proud of you. Wow.
Oh,
Amazing. Your mom looks like Audrey. Her eyes are like, wow.
I'll put her,
44
I'll put
angel
her,
numbers.
yeah, and she was a great, fun artist, good at connecting people, and I have to say that probably rubbed off a little bit. I like connecting people. They're a lot of fun. Okay, this
Yeah.
is it. We're closing the show. If we keep it simple, we keep it real, we keep it real simple. What's the final reminder for us all that you want to leave us with? Taylor Wells.
Remember who you are. Remember who you are. When you were saying that, the remember thing, my whole life, I've always written, I have an inspiration card deck, but I've always written cards to myself, and I would always have a card that said, remember who you are. And I remember asking my handsome husband once, does everyone have, like, I just thought that's what everyone writes and has. And he's like, no, that's not what people have in there. So just remember who you are and be that, be that, and know that you're so supported. And you just start now because there's only now. And you're always perfect. I said I am a recovered perfectionist, but that's actually inaccurate because in every moment you're the perfect you in that moment. And of course, you'll expand. Um, and whatever stepping stone you're on is super sparkly, even if it sucks. And when you know that, you may step forward. If you are asking, why am I here? You know, this shouldn't be happening. You just can't step forward because you're going to stick to it like glue. So just love it. Just love it. You don't have to like it or prefer it, but love it because you invited it. So no one else is in your sphere except you. So love it and remember who you are and just keep beginning again. Every single moment. And if you keep forgetting what day it is and what year it is, you're on the right track. None of that matters.
I love it. Taylor Wells, super fun, super connected, super genius, a super fun, connected genius. Thank you for being a guest on Angels, Positivity, and Love. You're awesome, and I'm looking forward to having you back in the future.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a beautiful night and talk to your angels.
Thank you.